We all love to watch movies and see the hero conquer the villain and just destroy the enemy. But what is it about movies, especially action and adventure films, that we're starting to notice? Well, it's this idea that the man is always the hero. He's always the strong man who will stand up for the little guy.
I'm still here, asshole! What do you only do, kids?
I mean, take your pick. Rambo, Commando, Die Hard, Indiana Jones, any Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, any Steven Seagal movie, they all have the same exact thing. The men are always the heroes. But what about women? Don't they exist too? Why aren't they allowed to ever be the hero? A couple of years ago, the American Film Institute released their list of the top 50 greatest on-screen heroes. Many of them were not women. And I wanted to see how real women reacted to this. Ask you a question. How many females do you think are on that list?
10. Probably like 0.
Yeah.
15.
I have no idea. Probably like maybe a third.
5.
Oh. So like not a third.
Really?
Yeah. Only 5
crazy.
female characters.
Wow.
Yeah. And it is crazy, especially when you think of all the great female characters that have existed. Characters like Sarah Connor, Katniss from the Hunger Games, Ellen Ripley.
Get away from her, you bitch!
But maybe it's because Hollywood really doesn't like to have their movies star a lot of women. Alright, I have a question. Do you have a favorite female, film, she's the protagonist of the film?
Do animated films count?
Sure.
Mulan.
I don't know if she was the main character.
Who was it?
Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman.
Yeah, she was the lead. But it's interesting that a rom-com is the only lead.
Lead?
So one thing I can do is I can see it's hard. I don't know if I can access it from the school computers that have it on my grades on it.
It's this movie called Brotherly Love, and I don't know if she's the lead though, but
I don't know. That's just like my own fault for not being able to think of it though.
Like, some of them said maybe it was their own fault, they just couldn't think of female characters from movies, but maybe it's more that Hollywood doesn't really like to promote females as the main characters. Can you name the last movie you saw where a woman was the main character that's not The Hunger Games?
it was The Hunger Games.
Yep.
Oh man, I was gonna say that. No.
Moana. Okay.
I just saw it last weekend.
Oh man, I don't watch a lot of movies. I have no idea.
Something interesting after doing these interviews I realized was one of the only female characters someone could think of and the last movie they saw a female were both Walt Disney animated films.
Coincidence? I think not!
But I also started to realize a big problem is because most movies use women as the reward for the male hero. Really, just look back at a lot of movies. How do they end? The guy conquers the villain, and then as a reward, he gets a woman? Because they're prizes? That probably doesn't help the situation at all, does it? But maybe it's really just because that's how Hollywood is? Do you think Hollywood is a sexist industry?
It's rapidly becoming less sexist, I think, especially like relative to history. I think lately, at least in the last 5-10 years, it's become a lot better, I would think, but I mean, I think there's still a lot of issues.
I mean, you hear that it is. I'm not sure if I know that much about it, but I mean, I've heard that female actresses get paid a lot less than the males.
Yes. Yes.
So I wouldn't come
Very,
at 2:30, but you can
very,
see
very,
my
very.
Being a big film fan, I've seen tons of movies in which women are the heroes and the leads, and I know these movies have done really well and have a big following. So, why exactly is it that because these movies make a lot of money, Hollywood doesn't do it more often? Hollywood, like with successful movies like the Hunger Game films, and with last year's Star Wars Force Awakens with a female lead, which is now currently the #1 domestic box office film. Why do you think Hollywood doesn't have more females as leads if it's proven that they can be big money makers?
I think they just stick to what they know basically, and they're used to male strong leads.
Maybe the people who are writing it aren't females. The people who are directing it aren't females. The people
only other
who
people for this class.
are producing it aren't females. So when they give females those opportunities to make the movies or be the lead, then they do it well. But if the females don't have the opportunity, then what? Like, we can't do it. We can't do much about it.
Because it's still a male-dominated world, and people like to see men in the I think men like to see men in the leads, and unfortunately women probably do too, if it's an action kind of movie.
I'm not in Hollywood, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I don't know what the statistics are, but I can't say that I haven't seen a lot of starring women in movies lately. I think I've seen a lot of it.
The big problem is actually one that one of the women I interviewed brought up, which is most people just like to see movies with males as the leads. I think this is a problem down to just Hollywood doesn't like to make them. For whatever reason, no matter how much money they make, Hollywood will continue to want to be a male-dominated universe. The real idea behind this project was I wanted to get real women's opinions on their representation in film. What I've seen by doing this research, by talking to these women, is that, sure, things have gotten better, but they haven't totally. They want to see themselves represented as the heroes, just like men. I really hope things in the future get a lot better, and I'm sure all of them do too. Do you see things in Hollywood improving in the future?
I think they've improved already. I think it's come a long way since when I was younger, and I mean, females never had any kind of a lead role, especially if it was an action film or something along those lines. You know, women were always secondary.
$50,000 probably, but in the near future, no, not really.
Maybe if they start hiring more black women. It's truly a problem. There are no films that have minority women in them, and I think that's ridiculous.
I think we are improving. It's slow, but we are improving a little bit. I think from before. I think we're improving somewhat.